Bebby Demon 69. Thank you for the 100, man. Appreciate it. What male traits based on Darwin's natural selection could be most desirable to women in choosing a mate? Who's this for? Is this the panel?
I mean, Darwin's my
What
best friend.
traits based on Darwin's natural selection?
Height.
Yeah,
muscularity.
These are going to be things that show competency
Physicality.
and things that show basically women during different periods of time would choose the man who looked like he was most likely, most capable of committing massive amounts of violence on her behalf to protect her and her children. When you look at it from that standpoint, then it makes sense why she fucks Brock the bartender, who's 6'3" or the fucking quarterback of the football team. That's the reason why. It's not like these things didn't just happen. Like I said before, my number one frustration is that we have these generic conversations when Dr. David Buss has written 5 books on this stuff, when Gad Saad has written books on this stuff, when Stephen Stewart Williams, Cindy Meston, Lita Cosmides, who's, by the way, PhD right here at UC Santa Barbara, one of the leading evolutionary psychologists on the planet, and we still listen to fucking Dr. Phil, and we read books like The 5 Love Languages and The Secret. The answers are there. Read the fucking answers. The real reason why me and Rollo work together is because he's the only man on the planet that I know who reads as much on evolutionary psychology as I do. The answers are there. They've been there since the 1970s, and for some reason we choose to not read them, and we still believe things like beauty is subjective. It is not subjective. These things have been answered. They've been answered since 1975.
Matthew Self, thank you for the 100. Avery, go ahead.
Woman in the Glasses is a smart woman. I appreciate her fighting back on topics. I just feel like she's just arguing to argue to prove her intelligence. She doesn't even take it in the opposite side of the argument. She just wants to argue to argue.
Your quick response.
That's not true. I stand for everything I argue. Maybe I'm not doing a good enough job explaining it.
Are those prescription, by the way?
Right now.
Are those prescription glasses or?
What? Yeah, these are prescription.
There's no lenses in them.
Do you want to pop them off? I mean, you don't need them, right?
It's all right. She can do it.
What,
Please,
she's giving me like the death stare over that
No,
request.
that's
Okay.
fine. Let her
All
do it.
Speedy the Unsilent, thanks for the 100. Avery, go ahead.
As a high-value man who is also tall with a low body count, I would only marry a woman with a low body count.
Word? Thank you, man. Speedy.
Thank you for your preference.
Yes, thank you for the super chat, man. Really appreciate it. We have Ivan Jr. Thank you for the 100, man. Sorry, Brian. There's a question to the panel. Have women lost trust to depend on man to the point they sell themselves on social media? Most relationships both have to work. There are men who can support a woman. Judging us and expectations are killing dating pool and marriage. Word. Thank you, Ivan. Appreciate it. Is there a question here? Have women lost trust to depend on man to the point they sell themselves on social media? Is this a rhetorical question? Hello?
It's not because of that. It's just an opportunity. It's just opportunism, is what it is. It's pretty much every girl that I talk to on, well, not every panel, but pretty much every girl I have encountered when it comes to wanting to get with a guy, they don't want to give up their OnlyFans. They don't want to stop advertising, and the reason they do is because they've been taught over the course of 2 generations to be distrustful of men, to say that they're never going to be able to be the ones who are going to be able to take care of me. When he comes up here and he says, I'm going to be the one who's going to take care of you. I'm going to take you to the restaurant. I'm going to pay for it. I am going to basically take care of your long-term security. To hear that is shocking today, right? Because women have this preconception that men are either they're borderline abusers, or they are incompetent, like buffoons, like Homer Simpson or Dr. Huxtable or whatever, sitcom dad that we want to throw out there, or they're incompetent. They don't know how to drive a stick shift. They don't know how to change a tire. They don't know how to tie a tie. And so if those are your 3 options, and that's what you think of as a masculine model or an ideal, or that's your archetype in your head, of course you're going to want to go to college, go get your career, get your money on point, become the man that you wanted to marry, because you can't trust no man to do what he just said, which is, I'm going to take care of business for you. And yes, I would absolutely agree with that assessment, because women are fearful that they'll never find a guy. And when we talk about like submission which I think is the wrong world, I think we need to talk about deference to men's authority. But I think that it's more about the fact that women need long-term security longer than they have the ability to consolidate on that. So if you've got 18 to 28 years old, where you're in your peak sexual market value years, that's 10 years in a lifespan that might be, 90 years old? So, and you're going to need long-term security far longer in your life than you are going to need it. And that's why we sell women on this, be independent. I'm a strong, independent woman. From what? Independent of men. That's where that comes from 1970s feminism is where that's from. So you
Yeah, if your argument is that men have fallen short because men are not acting in a masculine chivalrous way, we agree with you. We do not disagree with that at all. Men have certainly fallen short. That's the reason why the three of us are coaches. We agree with you completely. And in that happening, it's even worse in that general society is telling them to clearly do the opposite of what Justin Waller is saying. Like literally, not only are we not being coached to be masculine, we're being coached to not be masculine. And thirdly, we're being taught that it's borderline illegal for us to act in a masculine way. There is, Andrew Tate said it the best. There's just masculinity. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. Yeah. Toxic people are toxic. Toxic people can be feminine or masculine. Toxicity is toxic. Masculinity, again, when you want someone to save you from a burning building, you want a fucking ton of masculinity. It's not toxic then. So that's the issue. It's like, if you think things are bad, you're correct. They are bad. If you think men have fallen short, correct. They have fallen short. If you think 99% of men are simps, which it's kind of the ones on OnlyFans who are subscribed to you guys, you're correct. We agree with you on that. Men need to step up as well. And that's created the society. That's why these shows are becoming, these panel shows like this are becoming so outrageously fucking popular, because we're all seeing this happen at the same time. By the way, I want to say one other thing. I don't think the hedonism is the decay of Western society. I think it's a denial of science. I think that's actually the decay of Western society. Sorry to go off on that topic.